have something for you when you have a moment. Hey there. Glad to see you again. I should start charging for my services. It was really good
Thanks.
talking to you. Walter spends a fortune to maintain the lodge, but I'd say it's worth every credit.
Hi there.
It also
How's it
doesn't help that
going?
we're crippled. That's also probably negatively affecting our carry weight here, but we do have a bunch of things that we can... Oh, whoops. Son of a bitch. We do have a bunch of things that we can dump off now. We're still crippled, so let's sleep for an hour. Hopefully that'll heal our prognosis or something.
You thought that was crazy?
Nope, still crippled. Alright, what's the fucking... Yeah, that's annoying. Stabilizing barrel enchantment. You see that too, right? It literally says enchantment. Jesus fucking Christ. That's so embarrassing. It's been 464 days, so we've been at this for a year. Waited for 2,000 hours. I've only eaten 136 foods. Visited 40 systems. 49 planets fully surveyed. That's crazy. Largest crew size, 5. I've done so many quests. Yeah, the Freestar only had 9 quests. That's embarrassing. Favorite weapon's the Breach, apparently. I don't see how.
What's up?
Well, I'm not over-encumbered, it's just that I'm fucking crippled, so... I guess we'll just wait for that prognosis to cure itself. Okay, never mind. No, I won't. That's so fucking annoying. What the fuck am I supposed to use to cure that? I matched the thing, didn't I? Used for treating burns and afflictions. Frostbite cured. Dislocated, fractured limb, fractured skull, sprained, torn muscle. Is there anything that heals crippling? Infections. Torn muscle. I don't know, I don't see that as an option there. It looks like that did it. Fucking hell. Alright, let's go talk to Vae Victus, I guess. Probably for the last time. Man, that's so boring. It's literally, and that seems to be the running theme with the faction quests too, is here is the big, some guy that gets talked about a lot. Oh, turns out he was a villain. Of course. So fucking lame. Like, it's one thing if they did that once, and it's like, okay, it's a bit of a trope, but whatever. The fact that they've done it twice. Technically 3 times if you count Ryujin as well. Like, it's so lame.
Authorized personnel only. Trent has to stay here.
Does it really matter? She knows, buddy. A bunch of people know now.
Well,
Hey?
what a pleasant surprise. When I heard you and Hadrian were headed for Londinian of all places, I presumed you must be onto something big. Did you find what you were looking for?
I don't know. Is there anything you want to tell me about your time in Londinian?
I haven't been to Londinian in many years. Why? Is there some way I could be of assistance? Were you able to recover what you were looking for?
Oh, we did. And a whole lot more.
Good news, then. So, what exactly are you doing here? Plenty still to be done in defeating the Terramorphs, no?
We found a recording of you discussing the use of Terramorphs as a weapon.
Did you? Well, I don't know what you think you heard on this recording, but I sincerely hope you didn't come to the wrong conclusions. After all, given the Cabinet's current state of anxiety, they might misinterpret such a discovery to mean I could have been involved with the attacks. Perhaps I can convince you to keep this among us.
Oh, this is tempting. So you really don't know anything about the attacks, is that what you're claiming?
Of course. Do I look like I'm in any position to do what you're describing? So I'd very much appreciate your agreement to not share what you found. We wouldn't want anyone else jumping to conclusions now, would we?
I've got no plans to tell anyone. I just want to know the truth.
You want to hear the words, then? I did it. The Terramorph attacks on Tau Ceti, New Atlantis, my doing. Years of coordination between my associate and I, figuring out how to deploy the Lazarus plant's pollen outside of Londinian, learning to synthesize it, use it as a weapon. Now, being as clever as you are, I'm sure you have thoughts on why I might do such a thing.
I don't think he's a madman and a murderer. Associate, huh? Who have you been working with?
All in due time. First, I want to see if you're truly as astute as you appear. So why would someone like me go through all this trouble?
No better way to show the UC what a deadly weapon they have in the Lazarus plant than to use it.
Not a bad thought. But no. The attacks were a correction. When I discovered the plant, I did consider handing over what I'd found, but we were at war. And I couldn't risk information that dangerous falling into the wrong hands. So I ordered the bombing of the Londinian spaceport, fixing 2 problems at once.
Halting the spread.
City's Terramorph outbreak, and sealing away knowledge of the plant's potential.
You just said it took you years to use the plant outside of Londinian. You killed them for nothing.
Simple to say now, but with the outbreak raging from a barely understood source, the moment demanded quick action. So I did what was required. I removed the dangerous variable from an already catastrophic war. But then, as the war ended, my trial, my execution, I made a decision. After all, I'd given everything for the colonies. My life as I knew it included. And what did I get in return? Was there any effort by the UC to protect my legacy? My daughter's legacy? No. We were sacrificed when all we did was serve. So I kept what I'd learned and arranged the attacks to set things right again. My daughter, she becomes a hero. I become a trusted advisor, having found Kaiser, the research team, and cement my new position of influence when I hand them the name of the person responsible for the attack on New Atlantis. The dear departed Dr. Reginald Orlays, the associate who aided me all these years, and whom I always slated to take the fall. What luck he was stopped dead before he could hurt anyone else. His decades on the run brought to an end by another unlikely hero. You.
Orlays, huh? Why does that name sound familiar?
Can't remember the many lives you've taken. Orlays was the man whose death you brought about around the moon of Etheria. The pilot of the Warlock. The man I had to eliminate. To hide my secret.
How could you have coordinated all of this from in here?
It wasn't easy. But the beauty of being loathed is that people will do whatever they can not to deal with you. They wanted to pretend I didn't exist. And so I used their blind eye to my advantage. Still, establishing a back channel to Orlays via the UC recovery teams was painstaking work. I've led campaigns less nerve-wracking. They believed they were luring in wanted criminals, but were in fact delivering precisely encoded slates, filled with instructions invisible to any but their recipient, dropped off at just the right moments to fall into the proper hands. All without the UC realizing whom you were actually dealing with. Slow work. But as you can see, ultimately effective.
And why the hell do you care if the UC wants you as an advisor?
Why would I want to be in the good graces of the people who control my very life? I don't know, Captain. Maybe I still dream of a life outside these walls someday. A new face would be needed, of course, but it wasn't an impossibility. Though now, I'm not so sure.
Ah, so, I'm just your cleanup crew then. You must think you're very clever.
Captain, please. You've benefited here as much as I have. Maybe more. It's why I had Orlays reprogram Kaiser. Had that old machine guide you to where I found the plant all those years ago. I went to great lengths to ensure your and Hadrian's success. And look at the results. I know for a fact the Cabinet's planning to honor both you and Hadrian once this is all done. Isn't that preferable to languishing away in obscurity? Running jobs on the tail end of nowhere for the Vanguard? With only the vague hopes of perhaps earning the right to buy a home in the well someday.
What kind of honors are we talking here?
Something befitting the dedication to the colonies you two have shown. While, of course, they can't give you a command, responsibility like that has to be earned. The Cabinet does have access to considerable resources. I expect you'll be quite pleased with the result. And none of it would have happened without my intervention.
If you're waiting for me to say thank you, we're gonna be here a while.
I'm simply looking for you to acknowledge the truth. And let's not forget the importance of our actual endgame. Eliminating the Terramorphs. Securing knowledge of the Lazarus plant. What we've set in motion is going to protect thousands, maybe millions of lives. I'm simply requesting one more life be protected. Mine. Of I've already sent along the evidence of Orleza's role in the attacks to the cabinet, leaving out my own involvement. All I ask is that you confirm as much to the cabinet. Tell them that it was Orlez and Orlez alone.
Why the
After
fuck would
all,
I do that?
I do still have a long list of threats to the UC. This needn't be the end of our good works together.
What kind of work are we talking about here?
Hunting down criminals and other threats to the United Colonies. I expect they'll give me a bit more free range once this is all over. You would help me, like you did with Orlez. Track them down, and keep them from doing harm to the United Colonies. Impossible, though, if the cabinet learns I'm the one responsible for the attacks.
So Alright, so here's the thing. I actually like this. I fucking called it. I called it. Vae Victus is very clear. He's all for the UC, and sometimes a terribly necessary action is required to expose a weakness. Now, in this sense, it was to make his daughter a hero, and I even said that, too. I was like, oh, he's gonna do it to make his daughter look good. To repair the family name. That's exactly what it was. But it also means that he gets to continue doing his work, hunting down threats to the UC, and it's like, ultimately, he's playing this very smart. It's very calculated. And I like that. But I know that everyone else will hate it.
Undivided attention.
Yeah, clearly. Everyone else is gonna hate it, though. You think I'm just gonna forget the fact that you killed people to accomplish your good works?
And how many have you killed to get where you are now? There are
That's
no
different.
great works that don't cost lives, Captain. Whether it's winning a war or digging a tram tunnel. So we sacrificed a few dozen in the attacks to possibly protect millions. That seems like a fair exchange to me. I only hope
A few dozen?
you'll see the same and leave my name out of the discussions to come.
You know, I'm not sure what I'm going to tell the cabinet.
Well, I do hope you'll keep the larger perspective in mind, Captain. We've done something great here. Let's not squander the opportunity to do more.
I'm really not sure. Because I could do a 180 on this and completely fuck his shit up. Because I like the idea of working with him more, but I know that it's not going to lead to what I expect it to lead to.
Excellent.
Yeah. It sucks, because I know that they will kill him for sure this time. They won't hesitate. They will kill him for sure. If they find out he's doing genuine terrorist attacks.
Good news on our end. I'll let Hadrian give you the details.
Oh, look. Oh, so... Wow, it really is. So the UC is just 4 fucking planets. Alpha Centauri, Ptolemy, which is basically a fucking junk heap, Wolf, and Sol. Crix belongs to the Crimson Fleet, but I guess it belongs to the United Colonies again. Voli, Valo, Narian, and Cheyenne are under the Freestar Collective. And then the, whatchamacallits, House Varun, has a planet we don't even know where the fuck it is, or what it's called. But the fact that that's it is embarrassing. There's so many fucking planets on the map, and we've only got, like, what, a couple of actual settled systems? Fucking embarrassing.
Perfect timing. We just got in.
So on our end, good news.
The microbe and the Asylees are both as effective against heat leeches as they are against terramorphs.
Means either plan should work for clearing those critters off our worlds.
Considering what the Lazarus plant is capable of, I don't think we can deal with those things fast enough. I already sent along info to the cabinet to get them up to speed. So what about your end? Did you find anything? Did my father tell you what he knew about the Lazarus plant?
Vae Victus confessed. He organized the attacks from his cell.
I knew it. The second I heard that recording, I knew. Why? Did he say why he did it?
He said he was trying to fix the damage done to the Sanan name. Make you and him into heroes.
It takes some deeply twisted logic to think anything did more harm to the Sanan name than him.
So you're telling us that the attack on New Atlantis was Vae Victus's responsibility? Just like the dooming of Londinian? That's insane. All that, just to help restore the family name. How did he ever think that was going to work?
Well, once we inform the cabinet, they can ensure he won't be able to do anything like this ever again.
What do you think the cabinet will do to him?
My hope would be that whatever connections he's got to the outside world disappear. Make sure his future schemes and machinations stay in his cell with him. But honestly, I'm not sure. He's in a unique position, and has done a special kind of harm to the colonies.
He deserves punishment.
Exactly. Bring justice to everyone he's hurt. So I guess that gives us our final answer. Nothing left to do but head in and see what the cabinet thinks of it all. Unless there was more to discuss. This might be our last opportunity to talk things through before the cabinet weighs in on a decision regarding the terramorphs.
Oh shit. What do you think the cabinet will do when they learn about Vae Victus's involvement in the attacks?
It's hard to know. Unlike my father, the cabinet aren't butchers. But killing UC citizens, along with everything else he's done, is unforgivable. But if you're really that concerned, you could request they be lenient. They might be willing to spare him.
What kind of risks are there if we decide to bring back the Asylees?
Asylees aren't hostile to humans, but they are megafauna. If someone decides to pick a fight with one, it could get ugly. But they've already been spread far and wide once before when the UC was raising them as livestock, so the risk of introducing them to new worlds is minimal. Using them to clean up the terramorphs and leeches, though, it's not going to be nearly as expedient as the microbe would be. Given what we know now about the Lazarus plant, the speed of the job does matter. But going with the Asylees, we're at least dealing with known risks.
So, both approaches to clearing our worlds are effective against heat leeches?
They are.
Microbe needed minimal adjustment to account for heat leech anatomy.
And the Asylees seem like they're even better at tracking leeches than morphs.
Hell of a sight to watch, though, when they catch them. Like an open airlock guzzling angry spaghetti.
Which method of dealing with the terramorphs are you two leaning towards?
Microbe is gonna make the cleanup a whole lot quicker. If we're concerned about this Lazarus plant getting deployed again, that's the way to go.
The cabinet can secure the Lazarus plant, and then we're not risking any surprises when it comes to dealing with a microbe.
You're being paranoid. You know the science. You know we can make this safe.
I do know the science. I also know math, and a 1 in a million chance of a mutation isn't 0. So I guess we're still in discussion. Probably best at this point to let the cabinet weigh in, see if they have a preference.
Nothing else on my mind, then. Let's head in there.
And here we go.
Get an autosave just in case I fuck this up.
Welcome back, all of you. I wish we were meeting under better circumstances. But according to Hadrian's report, and the second one I just received, it seems the Terramorph attack on New Atlantis was no random occurrence, but a planned strike. Is what I'm reading here true?
Is that second report from who I think it's from?
This report comes from a particularly confidential source both you and I are familiar with, yes. Among the reasons its findings are so alarming. Now, is it true? Was the attack on New Atlantis planned?
Yes, that's correct, ma'am. It was a deliberate attack.
My God.
An attack? Using terramorphs? How is that possible?
You will all receive a full briefing once we're done here. So then, is what the second report claims correct? Did Reginald Orlays commit these attacks, Captain?
Orlays?
I can fuck them up. That report isn't the whole truth. Orlays helped, but Vae Victus organized the attacks.
It's true, ma'am. I heard the recording myself. My father figured out how to use terramorphs as weapons.
He did what?
That's impossible. He doesn't have the kind of access to...
Clearly, he made his own access, Chief Sarkin. Madam President, I have been saying for years that not dealing with that man was gonna end in tragedy.
Enough! I hope everyone here understands that what has just been shared is a state secret of the highest order. This information does not leave this room. Now, that's quite the accusation you're leveling, considering Francois Sinon has not left containment for the better part of 2 decades. You have evidence to back this up?
Why would I make up something like that?
I can think of numerous reasons why someone, after learning Vae Victus is still alive, might want to correct that. So I'm not going to accept such a stunning claim without proof.
Fine. Listen to this.
It just transformed. A terramorph out of thin air. An invisible weapon. No planet would be safe.
Heavens help us. Is that actually him?
I'd know that voice anywhere. That's Francois.
He knew they could do this, and said nothing.
He's a sociopath. Plain and simple, ma'am.
Officer, please collect that recording.
Yes, ma'am. Begging your pardon, Captain.
We'll, of course, be launching a full investigation into how this could have happened. Though I have little doubt the Admiral will be quick to share all he knows on the subject once confronted with that recording. Chief Yassine, can you send one of your interrogators to have a little chat with the Admiral?
I'll issue the order immediately.
Good. Combined with everything else you all have uncovered. Well, I don't think the United Colonies can thank you enough. We failed the people of the colonies by not dealing with Vae Victus sooner. I intend to rectify that mistake immediately.
What's going to happen to him?
That will be up to the cabinet to decide. But I don't appreciate our mercy being taken advantage of.
Can you ensure he has no more outside contacts? He used the UC functionaries to get his messages out.
That's truly disconcerting to hear. But cutting off Vae Victus's contact with the outside world is likely to be just the beginning of his punishment.
I know that if I request to spare his life, Sarah will be angry. But, like, dude, you don't just... Well, I don't know. Because I would like to say spare his life, but at the same time, he did direct us. He helped us against the Terramorph attacks, right? He stopped the Londinian infection from spreading, but at the same time, I'm gonna say whatever the cabinet thinks is the right course of action.
It's well past due. Now, with our villain unmasked, we can attend to the other matters at hand. With the threads you've brought together here, the Lazarus plant, the attacks, the heat leeches. The three of you have likely spared thousands of lives. But it now falls to the cabinet to ensure this can never happen again. As such, the cabinet will be securing the Lazarus plant on Londinian. All materials related to the plant will be classified to ensure no one else learns its true nature.
A sound decision, Madam President.
What sorts of measures will the UC be taking to protect the Lazarus plant?
Well, luckily the natural hostility of Londinian makes keeping out trespassers relatively easy. But we'll ensure its growth is contained, that access to the plant is only permitted via highly regulated clearances, and that our troop presence on Londinian is increased.
I believe other factions should be involved? No. Securing the plant isn't enough. It should be wiped out.
We're already discussing the elimination of one species, Captain. Explain to me why you wish to eliminate another.
I'm shocked you don't want to destroy it. Is the UC planning to keep this for themselves?
I'm not sure I like what you're suggesting. The UC's only plan is to protect lives. Though,
sure it is.
I won't discount that perhaps your proposal could get us closer to that goal. So, explain to me your thinking in destroying the plant.
Hard for anyone to commit new attacks with the plant if we erase any trace of it.
That's only a partial solution. The UC should involve the Freestar Collective in the operation in an attempt to remain as transparent as possible.
And once Vae Victus has been dealt with, this problem can end here.
And allow us to focus on the grander task to come. Very well. We'll clean up the plant. Thank you for the suggestion, Captain. So then, to our final topic. The Cabinet has agreed to implement a plan that will deal with the Terramorph, and now also Heat Leech presence on human worlds. In fact, we've already begun enacting measures to check all UC ports and settlements for undiscovered nests. But we all understand this is only a partial solution. The project we're embarking on will be a long and difficult one. So our first step must be deciding how exactly this all will be handled.
Madam President, this microbe is clearly too much of a risk. The Aseles are the safer approach.
To someone with limited knowledge of biology, perhaps. The technology behind the microbe is solved science, Madam President. It isn't dangerous. Using it to wipe out the Terramorphs would be the quickest path to protecting humanity.
And fast results always lead to the best outcomes, don't they?
As you can see, there remains debate among the Cabinet. We were hoping your group might issue a recommendation. Major?
We've been having similar debates ourselves, but the Captain has yet to weigh in.
I see. Captain, I know this may not be your area of expertise, but we'd like to know your take on the matter.
Do we need to do anything? Shouldn't destroying the Lazarus plant be sufficient?
I believe we have a responsibility to do something, yes. Heavens forbid, years from now, someone reopens the Pandora's box that Vae Victus discovered. It falls to us to enact every measure required to ensure that day never comes.
I still had questions about the methods.
Please, ask.
Who exactly is doing all this work, deploying whichever method we choose here?
The responsibilities will be spread across multiple branches of the UC. Research and day-to-day administration will be handled by a new group under the Science Division. All diplomatic concerns and coordination will fall to Chief Yassine and Interstellar Affairs. But most of the actual on-the-ground work, that'll be handled by the Vanguard.
Will the other factions have any role to play in this cleanup?
This won't work without them.
Exactly right, ma'am. The Interstellar Affairs Office has already begun reaching out to worlds throughout the settled systems, informing them of the risks we're all facing, and that the UC has a plan to prevent what happened on New Atlantis from happening elsewhere. Thus far, the response has been overwhelmingly positive. The spirit of mutual cooperation displayed between the UC and the Freestar Collective in managing the terramorph data set a good tone for the work we're doing, Captain. We expect we'll hit some resistance, but our office has plenty of carrots and sticks to ensure the program's widespread success.
What are the chances, really, that this microbe could cause problems to humans and other species?
Infinitesimally low.
But not zero.
The chance of a starship landing on you as you sit here isn't zero, yet you still attended. Personally, my fear isn't mutation, but terramorphs developing a resistance. But that's something our group can continue to address if we decide to take this approach, as I believe we should.
And what are the dangers of bringing back the Asylees?
I can feel this one. While intimidating creatures, certainly, Asylees are docile and less provoked. They're honestly closer to oversized mobile scanners than deadly predators.
The concern is that, while all proposed methods will be long-term efforts, the Asylees are the slowest. Slow to breed, slow to deploy. We do everything we could to accelerate that process, including mustering some of our mothballed cloning technologies. But if we do elect to use this method, we'll be doing things at the pace of a megafauna, which is not an expedient one.
Well, I don't have any other questions.
Very well. Then did you have a preference on the method we should deploy?
Honestly, deploying the Asylees is the safest route. That's my vote.
I'm in full agreement. No need be delving into unpredictable sciences.
Here's hoping they'll be kept on a short leash.
That, madam, is most certainly
Really,
the
sir?
plan.
Fuck you.
Order, please. And Major Sinan? Dr. Walker, you'd find this acceptable?
We trust the captain's judgment.
Then the matter is settled. We'll begin the process immediately. Today marks day one for the United Colonies Terramorph Management Division, making you three the founding members of the TMD. As befits such a group, the Cabinet wanted to display its gratitude. Today, we will be adding 3 new Class 1 citizens to our ranks.
Class 1? For the 3 of us? Are you joking?
What he means to say is, thank you, ma'am.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
What's a Class 1 citizen?
It's a status reserved only for those who've dedicated their lives to the United Colonies, or done great things for its cause. Class 1s enjoy an ample credit disbursement, an additional reduction on the cost of colonial goods. And I'm told the penthouse is rather impressive.
Well, thank you, Madam President.
You all have earned it. Now, there's much to be done. Major Sinan, Dr. Walker, I hope you two are willing to continue your efforts spearheading the TMD's research on Mars.
We'd be honored, ma'am.
And as a member of both the Vanguard and the TMD, I believe you, Captain, will have your pick of duties. Speak to your commander, Tuala, if I recall correctly. He should be able to provide you with assignments going forward, plus help you collect the benefits that come with being named Class 1. On behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, you have our sincerest gratitude. This meeting is adjourned.
Wow. That's it then, huh?
The UC military's lucky to have...
Captain, I guess we've got our assignments. I just wanted to say, I could have never guessed where all this was going to lead. But now, knowing what I do, that my father truly is the monster I always thought he was. Well, I've just spent a lot of my life in pursuit of the truth. So, you bringing it straight to me, it just means a lot.
Don't mention it. We're friends. Friends look after each other.
The best ones certainly do. You know, I was thinking, while we were there on the podium, if I wanted to try and see him again. After all, it could be my last chance. But I knew the answer before I even finished the thought. I didn't. Because confronting him, what would I gain from that? From letting him remind me I can never truly be rid of him? Nothing. Now, all I'd be doing is acknowledging that he still has some sway over my life. And while I can't do anything about his role in my past, I'm not about to let him control my future. And thanks to what we've done together, that future is brighter than it has been in a long time. Words can't do justice to how grateful I am for that.
Let's not make this weird, Major. Then let's keep going. Come with me.
You know I can't do that. I've got an assignment. But I wouldn't be upset if you came by the HQ every now and then. Remind me how much I owe you.
Fine. Just glad I was able to help.
Well, I think it's safe to say you succeeded beyond anyone's wildest dreams. It's been an honor, Captain. Good luck out there.
Yes, thank you for your service. Oath of May, 1918.
Hey, I've heard of
Where'd
you.
everyone else go?
The Explorer, right? You ever think of
And they all
joining
probably
the
hightailed it out of there.
What?
Good luck on your endeavors, Captain.
Oh, you've got nothing else to say to me. Yeah, you're probably pissed. You're probably pissed because I told everybody.
Well, at least we all have our tasks, Captain. Best we get to them.
Yeah, I guess no one else really has anything to say regarding all of that. It does kind of just, like, that kind of sucks that it really does just sort of end. I guess we'll go down to Commander Tuala's office. Talk to Tuala. Get my just desserts.
Informed us of your new status. Congratulations on making Class 1.
Well, well, I've got to say, this is a first. I've never had a Class 1 citizen in my ranks before. Congratulations, Captain.
Can you tell me what a Class 1 citizen is?
It's a high honor. Have to do something big for the colonies to earn that sort of designation. Only ever met a couple myself, and certainly never given one orders. You should be real proud.
Thank you, Commander. It's an honor.
No need to thank me. You brought this all on yourself. I've already gone ahead and processed your Class 1 benefits. All UC goods and services should now have a thanks for protecting the colonies discount. And the credits should be in your accounts now. But to get into your penthouse, you'll have to pay a visit to the Aphelion Realty office. They should be able to grant you access.
Where's this realty office?
Just out the front door and across the plaza, by the embassies. Look for the Aphelion sign.
I'd rather drink engine oil. Well, that's incredibly generous.
Higher-ups wanted to make sure you know how much they appreciate what you've done. But with all that squared, it's time to get you a new assignment. There are your standard Vanguard missions, putting those pilot skills to use defending UC space. Or you could help the TMD in cleaning up terramorphs. Oh, and I got a request from Dr. Walker. Wanted your help collecting biological samples to keep an eye out for any, new alien threats on the horizon. Any of those missions call to you?
Actually, I think I'd start by helping out Percival with these new alien threats.
Sure. He'll have all the specifics. If you find yourself looking for more work, you know where to find me.
Alright. So it really is almost like a... I guess that is one thing I do like about the quests, is that it really... It's almost like an introductory phase thing, and then you're like a full-fledged member, kind of. Now the real trouble is finding this goddamn office. Speak to Percival. Oh, check in with the Elios retreat staff. I never did that. I guess I should do that at some point, huh?